Previously in Dragon's Maw. The airship known as Skyfall, or the GES New Dawn, took off into the sky for its first flight test. It was a bit bumpy on the way up, but they managed to break through the cloud layer. And then they got ambushed by another ship, the Enclave-controlled Indomitable Spirit. Enclave soldiers stormed the ship, while the Maulers scrambled to defend and regain control of the situation. Thankfully, the Maulers and their collected allies helped out to repel the attackers and prevent casualties. The Enclave just wasn't prepared for a pack of Hellhounds, the Gunsmith's Curse, a Dragoness with a Plasma Caster, and a Dragon Hybrid Sniper. On top of that, Flotsam realized that her biological father, Jasper, an Enclave council pony, was aboard the other ship, so she took herself hostage to call off the attack. The Enclave soldiers retreated to their ship, along with Flotsam in custody, as well as the changeling companion Jin, covered in Zenkarn's necromantic blood form, as he took a damaged Enclave disguise. The rest of the party remains in Skyfall, with a direct line from one bridge to the other, so that the mayor and Jasper, along with the Enclave commander Razorwing, can negotiate. The Enclave might not be able to take over the ship right now, but they can still shoot it out of the sky. So that's where we stand. We'll start, because we're going to be switching between two different perspectives for a while, so hang in there, everybody. We start with, I guess, Flotsam and Zenkarn. Flotsam is being escorted through the sky towards the Indomitable Spirit, the Enclave ship, hovering outside of the Dragon's Maw zone, with its weapons trained on Skyfall, being flanked by a pair of Enclave soldiers, and Zenkarn is kind of hanging on as Jin flies through the air in an Enclave, damaged Enclave disguise of his own creation, impersonating a dead Enclave soldier that got completely torn apart by some Hellhounds. And he's kind of... So Zenkarn's kind of hanging alongside Jin as he's flying back along with the rest of the retreating soldiers. Flotsam is kind of escorted to an entrance to the ship along the upper deck, while Jin ends up following the rest of the soldiers down to sort of this lower deck entrance for these flyers. And what they immediately do for... So here we are. The party is split basically three ways right now. We've got Flotsam, then Zenkarn, and then the rest in Skyfall, which could themselves split even more. So, this is going to be a fun session for me, guys. It's going to be great. Don't you know, you never split the party. Zenkarn, immediately what they do, Jin, because I don't want to spend this entire session talking to myself, basically I'll summarize. What Jin does is, he plays up his bloody wounded act, so they immediately take him to the med bay, so that their soldier can get healed. His disguise seems to be working well enough, especially since he's just too damaged to really say anything or look that recognizable. He just garners sympathy automatically. Flotsam is taken up pretty much as directly as possible to the bridge. You walk down these halls, passing by all these Enclave Pegasi, some of which are in power armor, many of which are still not. And you're immediately taken to the bridge of the ship, and you and your guards kind of stand by as this older Pegasus and this middle-aged one next to him kind of argue with Mayor Chase up on the central view screen, the central monitor, rather. But when Jasper notices you, he excuses himself from the negotiations and kind of steps down from the central platform overlooking the rest of the banks of monitors and systems.
This is the conversation that the Maulers were viewing through the other side.
Yeah, anyone who is in the control room has been watching in on that conversation from the other side as well.
What's been the gist of that particular conversation?
Basically, Chase has made it clear that they still have a few hostages to negotiate with, and Commander Razorwing has made it clear that their goals are either to take back the ship or to scuttle it so that it can't be gainfully used by ponies on the ground, abused rather. He spouted off some spiel about how it would, at the very least, in the worst case scenario, it would threaten the balance of power on the ground. But he's also made it clear that their goal is to take back the single pony project, so that the ponies who have been displaced from the Enclave's, cloud homes, they don't in the transition, they don't end up dying grisly deaths down on the surface. And, Chase has been doing his best to counter that. I mean, you guys have made a living down here, surely they can too, but it's not a strong defense. Basically, things are just kind of at a stalemate right now.
I take it Chase is very much preferential to continuing the argument himself.
He's kind of sweating. His feathers kind of matted against his body. He's under a lot of stress right now, and he's kind of looking around to see if anyone is presenting him with any options.
If I might say, there's something to be said about, one, the balance of power already being disrupted, and two, the disruption that we intend to do is a good kind of disruption.
Sorry, I was distracted by the chat. So you say that, one, the surface world is not terribly balanced as it is, and two, the way you plan to use it, you've already got a plan in mind.
Well, whatever balance of power he's talking about on the surface, it's a balance of power that it's a good thing that if we disrupt it.
The angry-looking Pegasus on the screen before you says, that's beyond the point. The point is, it is not our intention to let Enclave technology be abused this way.
Define abuse.
Sure, you may have good intentions now, but what about months down the line? You have control of a majorly powerful resource. Who knows what kind of salt of the earth gains control of that and uses it to terrorize the rest?
With one skyship.
Sure, with one, but that's also a very experimental and powerful skyship.
Right. One skyship that can be in one place at a time.
I'm not talking about conquering the entire land of Equestria. I'm just saying, this is not something that ponies on the ground, potential raiders, potential miscreants should be controlling.
So you're saying that everyone in this city is a miscreant?
Not necessarily, but potentially. You're not seeing the potential for abuse these things have if not controlled by a central authority.
And you think that your central authority kicking everyone on this city off is the solution?
Compared to the alternative, yes.
You see, you're trying to make us see things from your point of view. Maybe you should try and see things from this city's point of view.
The way I see it, you stand a better chance of being able to relocate and find different peaceful, relatively peaceful lives on the surface rather than on that ship. The Enclave does not have such a capability.
You realize that that filly that went over there, she has basically made a life for herself on the ground, correct?
The commander before you just gets a very, very aggravated look on his face, and he says, "The filly is not my concern. That was the council stallion's concern, not mine."
Yes, but she is, if you want to get tactical about it, she is a former Enclave citizen that is doing pretty well for herself on the ground.
Not an Enclave citizen. Don't be absurd. You and I both know that. He kind of checks to make sure they're not in earshot. He says, "You and I both know they have no chance of reconnecting. That filly's relationship to the Enclave means absolutely nothing."
And Tempered Steel will give an eyebrow raise.
That filly successfully took advantage of the sentimentality of a very, very old stallion. Congratulations. That's where your advantage ends. You've successfully broken your stalemate that way. Good job. But no further. Not with me.
Aren't Pegasus supposed to have, like, the power to make cloud cities or something?
Not of the scale to support an entire nation. That was the single pony project's job. And this conversation goes on and on. Let's check in with Zenkarn. What's the time limit on your blood form ability?
Did he cut out there?
I don't know.
Cuteless, we can't hear you.
Oh.
Okay, there you are.
Good
You're back.
Sky.
Behave.
It was just, it would mute me, then unmute me, then mute me again, then unmute me, and I'm like,
Are you accidentally pressing a hotkey?
No.
Okay.
But to answer your question, blood form is forever until I say otherwise.
Okay, so you're able to just kind of stay on Jin, as just kind of this kind of mass of blood that's just kind of sticking to his body. Jin is taken into the med bay, and his armor is removed. And Jin's actually gone to some great lengths to actually like simulate the wounds from his fictional battle with the Hellhounds pretty well. Some of the armor is kind of dug in. It's actually pretty. He looks pretty serious.
Ugh.
But some of the armor is sort of removed, and you are actually kind of almost split in half as the armor is set aside, and some of your blood form is still on Jin's body.
I can't do that.
You can't do that, so
Your body cannot freely separate into pieces.
So as they start to pull the armor away, what do you do?
I will stick to the armor and just let myself be pulled away from Jin.
So that means as they lift away, there's going to be no blood on his body, and that's going to look very suspicious.
Alright, stick to Jin then.
Jin actually covers for you he starts making very, very loud pain, so it sounds like as they start to pull the armor away. So they back off for a bit as they assume that some kind of shrapnel or something has been embedded in him,
Right.
and prepare for a quick surgery.
I do not need. Fuck. Okay, so I'm on Jin, and he's now armored or armorless.
Armored still. And he just, as the medics, step aside to gather tools, Jin just kind of turns his head towards the wall and says, "If you've got a plan, now's a good time."
Well, I'd answer him, but I don't have a mouth. Alright.
Jin says, if you make a play, I'll back you up.
Alright. In that case, I need to get out now. Is there any gaps in his armor?
Plenty, because it's very damaged.
Cool. I'm gonna squeeze out of a gap and try and get on the floor.
Okay. So Jin sees you start to do this, and he kind of rolls off of the cot that they put him on, and just starts making pained noises as the blood you just kind of seep out of him very quickly.
Yep.
And the nurses kind of the medics kind of rush toward him, but he forces them back for a bit, trying to gesture at them to give him some space.
Alright, I'm just gonna pool on the floor. Because I can't exactly go walking around with a whole bunch of ponies staring at me.
Eventually you manage to just kind of completely remove yourself from his body. You're now a pool of blood on the floor of the ship, of this med bay. Which, by the way, to describe the room more fully, since it's not really like, there are some curtains drawn, but it's actually a very long room with many cots, and only like a couple of doors out.
Fair. In that case, how close is the nearest cot?
The one that Jin was just on is, one pony's length to the side.
Okay, I'm half a gallon. I can go at a walking speed. Alright, I'm gonna,
Jin's still covering you, by the way.
Okay, I'm going to just sit, wait for them to move him, and then I'm gonna go under the bed. Because Otherwise, they're gonna see me.
All right. Yeah, the ponies finally. Jin lets the ponies kind of scramble to get him onto a stretcher so they can move him to kind of operate, and they become so distracted with him that you are clear to move without anyone noticing you for a moment.
Sweet. I try and get under the bed.
You don't even have to roll. You get under the bed, and no one notices the amorphous, bloody blob moving around yet.
Cool.
And within the harsh lights of the ship's med bay, it's not terribly like the kind of very yellowing fluorescent lights. Yeah, no one. It's kind of the shadows are dark enough that no one can really see this blob thing.
Okay. I need out. Weakened substance. That's irritating.
I don't know if you can use your other utility talents while you're blood forming.
Well, you're considered a vicious liquid. Viscous liquid.
You are a vicious liquid, to be fair.
You gain acid-borne and spider-climb racial traits.
Right, yeah.
And acid-borne essentially gives me weakened substance infinitely.
You can basically kind of dissolve through weak objects, yeah. Or, well, you can weaken objects, but I don't know about, like, breaking through.
That's the only problem.
Yeah, you can weaken a substance, but you can't really, like, summon the force to break through it after you've weakened it.
Well, I mean, I can technically just spit acid at it infinitely. Because,
I guess, yeah, one of the features of Acid-borne, yeah.
Characters of race can also safely spit small globules of acid at will.
So you have a short range acid attack. Congratulations.
Okay.
Technically, if I kept just using weakened substance on the same bit of floor continuously, what would happen?
You'd probably start bleeding through the ceiling, which would be very creepy.
Right, there's that. Okay, how far away am I from the door?
The door at the end of the hall, you've got some distance. The closer door is about 2 cots down, and then a short distance to the next door, which seems to lead into some kind of washing area.
Dumb question. How high is the ceiling?
How high is the ceiling? Pretty standard.
As in, how much would I have to look up?
Not very high.
Okay, that goes that plan.
It's kind of built like a bunker in the sky. I mean,
yeah, no, that's fair. That goes my climbing up the wall and going across the ceiling plan.
You've got cover in the form of curtains and beds between you and the door.
GM it.
All right,
What?
fine. I'll attempt to make the.
What was that, Weaver?
Go from bed to bed to bed to bed to door.
You're not gonna explain what that whispering was? That annoying whispering?
No.
Okay, because I honestly did not understand it, and it just kind of made my ears ring a bit. So, I guess I'm gonna have you roll stealth. He said,
Yay!
GM it. GM it.
Oh, actually, no. This is fine. Even if I do get caught, this isn't going to be terrible. 16. Yay.
That is sufficient to move from the first cot under the next curtain and to get under the next cot before some pony notices you.
How many more cots do I have to go?
One more, and then you gotta cross the length to the door.
I can do that. Roll another stealth check.
Yep, another stealth roll.
8.
As you start to make the next movement, the next sort of cot area, another soldier gets dragged over there. You aren't noticed immediately, but it does kind of impede your progress.
Fair enough. In that case, I will stop, wait, and then move.
All right. Yeah, one more roll.
Yep. Nat 20.
So, In
I am
kind,
the stealthiest
kind of a
blood
freak
crystal.
coincidence, the soldier they just brought in starts bleeding profusely as well, and it causes such a kind of a splash that anyone who looks in the direction of the moving blob of blood is also kind of distracted by the blood that's already kind of splashing everywhere. So you go completely unnoticed, and it causes such a it causes such a stir that there is no one even near the next door over, and you can just cross that distance without even trying. So you can get out of that
Ninja blood.
out of that room all on your own.
Remind me to get like a little ninja garb for my blood form at some point. But cool. So I get to the door. What now? What's around?
You're in sort of a very large. I don't know quite how to describe it. It's kind of a mix between a morgue and sort of a kind of a cleaning area. I don't know. It's just a very medical area with
Say the first word again. Morgue? Was it?
there you see off to the side of something that looks like it could be morgue facility or maybe even cremation. It's not. You can't really tell yet.
Fantastic. I go there. I'm sure I had another plan, but this is better.
Because dead bodies.
All right. While that's in progress, dear God. Dahlia, do you feel up for a little bit of role
Pretty
playing?
much.
Sorry, there was a bit of...
Do you feel up to a little bit of role playing?
Okay.
Okay. You finally see this older Pegasus stallion dressed in his Enclave best suit, decorated with several medals. And he just kind of looks wide-eyed when he finally catches sight of you on the bridge. As soon as he sees you, he steps away from the sort of conference call, and led you and the guards to a separate side conference room. The guards remain by the door, and there's a table, and he pulls up a couple of chairs and offers one to you.
Flotsam just shakes her head and remains standing.
And the older, very gray-haired stallion just nods. And then there is a very, very sort of awkward period of silence. And then he says, "So that is you, sweet cake, isn't it?"
I don't go by that anymore, but...
Of course not, of course not. That was the name we gave you, and we weren't around to...
Look, for what it's worth, I'm sorry you had to lose your daughter like that. It can't have been easy for you.
No. Under the circumstances, though, finding her again hasn't been simple either.
Yeah.
I have no idea what your mother would think. This whole...
She just frowns deeply at the mention of her mother. Do you know what she did?
I read a couple of reports.
She could have killed everyone on Skyfall.
Ruthless is a word I would use to describe Ruby Rose at times, yes.
Where is she now?
With many other refugees. None of them too pleased. They've set up a sort of base camp down on the surface. And they're trying to figure out where they stand now. Trying to figure out if they can stake some land that isn't claimed.
You look hard enough out here, they're usually somewhere.
Yeah, but that somewhere could have something crawling under the ground, or raiders might come by, or some irradiated creature.
It's pretty much the same everywhere in the wasteland. Even where I grew up.
That's just not something we had to deal with up in the clouds. That was the whole point. After the war, we just closed ourselves off.
And didn't help anyone on the ground.
Well, most ponies assumed that... I mean, the radiation down there was deadly. The fact that pony might have survived in the stables was irrelevant. No pony could get down there. It's only after the fell out, that we've even been considering expeditions down to the surface. And then that repair pony came in.
Which repair pony?
No, I don't know the name. She just managed to get into the SBP and take it over.
Oh. She nods slightly more understanding.
And took the sky away. Now the Enclave, we don't have any of our land, our architecture, our agriculture, which was all cloud-based. Sure, the sun shines down on the wasteland now, permanently, but that's a lot of Pegasi who have to
pay the price for everyone else getting a slightly more decent chance at life.
Exactly. And I know there's no right side of this. Maybe a better side. I don't even know if it's mine, but...
You're a bit more reasonable than I was expecting you to be. I figured if you were married to Ruby Rose, you'd be just as heartless as she was.
I was, until recently.
Recently?
That little unicorn changed everything and forced us all to survive just like you have, and it's hard not to... It's easy to hate, but it's also hard not to get that rush of perspective either.
She nods.
And
you know, I'm glad I fell to the ground.
You probably turned out better.
Yeah, I think so.
You, he takes a seat. He doesn't expect you to take one either, but he just says, "So where did you land? Who found you? And you go by Flotsam now, right?"
Oh, you found that out, huh?
Yeah.
I was agonizing for so long about whether to let Midnight Clear come back up and tell you about me. In the end, I guess the choice kind of got taken away, but...
It's only very recently that I found out.
Yeah.
Practically yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that. You can see that despite his sort of very, you can see that he's working very hard to keep himself, calm and still. Probably years of oratory experience, but he does seem to be kind of fidgeting with, stress, and, there are moments of doubt crosses his expression.
Anyway, are you okay? Do you need a moment alone? I can go back to the guards.
A moment alone is the last thing I need right now. Just no, you were talking about where you landed. I want to know what I missed.
Well, there's this really nice Earth Pony family who took me in. They'd lost someone. My brother and sister, they lost their mother, but they still had their dad. So now he's my dad.
Of course.
And I think they worried a lot about me.
They're not with you?
Well, my sister came after me, but I went to the mall by myself.
He looks off kind of through the wall, probably at the New Dawn off in the distance, even though there's no windows, and he says, Is she
on the New Dawn?
Yeah.
Listen, I'd rather not give you too much information that could potentially be used against me, okay? Not until this is all sorted out.
This is a tense situation, yeah.
You have to understand, I came out here to the mall because I wanted so badly to protect my home, my family.
I understand. In a way, no, that's the wrong thing to say. But I had similar intentions coming here.
Well, you're wanting to protect the Enclave, I guess, right? Can I ask why you guys really want the New Dawn back? Is it just to keep it out of our hooves?
If we could reclaim it, and I'll tell you this outright. If we can reclaim it and get all of its systems working, it might be enough to take the Single Pony Project back. But...
So, take away the sun from us again, right?
Maybe not. I don't know. Depends on who would ultimately have control, but we didn't have perfect control even before then, but just even to give ourselves just some space where the clouds can always be under our hooves. Or maybe just, I don't know. I don't know, maybe we can just... He kind of gets up and starts to pace around the room. Maybe we can just talk them into maybe building a new cloud city or something, because there are just some Pegasi that just... They won't be able to survive on the ground. They can't make that happen. We need every home gone. Just evaporated under our hooves. We need...
You need some of the clouds back.
And, the weather control systems, just something would be enough to build ourselves a new home. Because integration so soon after that battle, no, that's... I wish it could be done, but...
At the same time, you know that using a Black Ops skyship and coming after the Single Pony Project and trying to take it back by force...
No, of course not.
You know that's not going to end well, right? They won't let you have it.
No, that would...
I mean,
that would just...
maybe if you tried to open negotiations, but...
Yeah, no, you have to understand the... Most of the Pegasi aboard this ship still believe in the might and strength of the Enclave. But we got... It was close, but we were defeated. The Enclave was defeated, and I have all ponies known to respect that. I don't know if most of the ponies on this mission, they still believe that if the Enclave can just regain its hoof, its footing, then they could reclaim that glory and everything will go back to normal because the Enclave will be in control again. But we lost too much.
What was that your commander was saying about balance of power? Sounds kind of like the Enclave want the balance of power to be very firmly on their side.
Absolutely. And right now, I can't blame them. Maybe if part of me wants that too. Part of me wants to believe that it can be done.
They're just hurting really badly right now, aren't they?
Absolutely.
And they're desperate. But we can't just...
Keep shooting at each other.
I came over here because I needed everyone to get off the ship.
And
I wouldn't have if I didn't absolutely have to.
no, you wouldn't want to be here, would you? You've got your own family and friends.
I'm sorry.
No,
I just I've been scared of the idea of you for so long.
And not knowing hurt us the most.
How did it happen anyway? Was it when the explosion?
You were there with us on site. When the ship fell, you fell too. And we never found you.
Did you have any more kids?
We talked about it for a while. You see, the thing is, it took us a while to get you. We had a lot of trouble with that. The subject of adoption came up several times. I don't know, there was always something else to deal with.
I guess.
I don't know, just didn't, to both of us it felt like I don't know if we could have gone through all that again.
Yeah.
I mean, we soldiered on. That's what you do in the Enclave.
Kind of a lot of soldiering in the Enclave, huh?
It's the principles that every society needs a principle to hold it together. That was ours.
I guess.
There is a long silence between you two.
I'm, not sure how likely it is that my friends are gonna come to some kind of agreement with your friends.
It is a situation, and I don't know what the solution might be.
It's really frustrating. You seem kind of reasonable, and Midnight Clear seems reasonable, but that captain, that Razorwing?
Razorwing is very devoted to the cause.
Yeah.
I technically outrank him, but...
You do?
Well,
Huh.
I was on the Enclave Council.
He seemed real unhappy with you letting me over here.
He was, but the Enclave still respects rank.
He wouldn't really listen to you about this kind of thing, would he?
It would be difficult. I don't know. I haven't really until you got on the radio or were reported on the radio. I was all for the plan along with him.
You had to have known that I might be there.
No. Well, I guess maybe I hoped you weren't.
You sent Midnight Clear down. I mean, that was you, right?
Well, Midnight Clear was more recon in general, but yes, I had a suspicion. But we didn't hear back from.
He got caught.
Yeah.
He wasn't killed or anything, but
He's still on. Okay, so he's still on.
yeah, I already let slip that he's in the brig. So's Astral Comet. Yeah, Astral Comet's not that nice a pony, but Midnight Clear's nice. He seems like a good. She's starting to get a bit more agitated. It's folks' homes now. You know, they don't want it because it's a war machine. I mean, granted, we need it to be a war machine right now because we're in the middle of a war.
Yeah, the ground down there does not look terribly friendly, based on our reports.
There are dragons and power-hungry ponies, and
you've been fighting all that?
We had to. Ever since we got to the mall.
You can see his the corners of his mouth turn up with a little bit of pride at that.
It's just we had to help fix things. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're not exactly the best ponies you'll find, and we screwed up a lot. We're just trying to make up for it, I guess. I don't even know anymore.
Neither do I. We're on the same page in that respect.
We wanted to use Skyfall, the New Dawn, whatever. We wanted to use it to get to the heart of the fighting, take down the cult of Tiamat, the executive. Oh, that probably doesn't mean anything to you, but at the moment they're bad news. Trust me.
It means something to you. That's.
And it's not fair to just come and swoop in and try and take it back. The Enclave scrapped it. You guys threw it away. And the ponies on the ground, they picked it up and they started living in it and they started repairing it and they made it whole again. And you can't just come and take it back after they've put so much work into it, into their home.
I know it's not right. But you have to understand, these ponies are desperate, and frankly,
Desperate ponies get themselves killed.
That they do. Yeah.
Jasper, if we can't come to some kind of peaceful resolution...
A lot more ponies are gonna... Yeah. But it's, you and me. It's not just you and me. We have to... He points out outside the door and says we have to convince all those ponies out there, too.
I know that's the problem.
Or at least convince them that this just isn't tactically viable, that they're going to lose more than they can gain. But also,
they will.
But also they have to be convinced not to use any preventative measures.
I don't think you quite... I mean, your forces encountered a lot more resistance than they were expecting, right?
Yeah, we're getting the sense of that.
I know you guys are desperate. We're desperate too. We are going to take out a hell of a lot of you with us. I don't really want that, but the fighting continues, and
war never changes.
I'm sick of it. I have killed so many ponies that it stopped mattering. And I want it to start mattering to me again. I want to stop all this stupid, wasted life all over the place. Years ago, I probably wouldn't have cared. If I could have pushed a button and made your ship blow up with you and Ruby Rose on it, I probably would have done it. But now, people
I understand.
should have a chance, no matter who they are.
I understand, and I think the past few weeks I haven't been sure what I believed. I don't know what I believed anymore before that day. I don't know what I believe now. But all I have is what's left of the society I was in, and then the things I put so much of my life into and that I lost. And here they are again. And the last thing I want is for them to be shot out of the sky. And seeing more of my comrades die is not something I want to watch either. Without that initial blitz, and sorry if this is going to sound cold, but without that initial blitz, we don't have too many options left. So I think your side does have the advantage, because even with our power armor and tech, we can't take you down on the ground, at least I don't think.
But you can shoot us at. You can. Oh, excuse me. But you can shoot us out of the sky.
Exactly. And now your leader and my commander are arguing about whether or not that will happen. And I'm not sure what to do.
I'm really used to having a plan about now. It's kind of annoying that I don't.
Well, at least that's there's a whole chapter in the Enclave playbook for winging it. Subject of winging it in tactical combat situations is a much discussed topic in in the Enclave military.
She just fluffs up her wings.
At least you have no plan. We had a plan and it failed.
Don't get me wrong. A lot of our plans fail too.
Come to think of it, every plan of ours regarding that ship has failed. It's just starting to be bad luck for us.
What if there was something wrong with the ship that made it not be viable anymore? That meant that, I don't know, maybe the cloud actuators only had a certain amount of juice left in them, and then they'd give out, and Skyfall would have to land again, and that would be it, and then it would be defunct. Do you think maybe then the Enclave would leave us alone?
If we made up some problem with it? I don't know, I've gone over we know it's damaged, but the assumption was that if we reclaimed it, we'd repair it, we'd update any tech that needs updating. Of course, probably your group's team of engineers, I'm surprised that team of engineers is even a thing that can be applied to surface dwellers, but I'm sure you've already done that.
Flotsam looks very vaguely offended.
I'm sorry,
I do weapon repairs.
Oh, you have technical knowledge. Oh.
I work with explosives. I make explosives.
You make them? I'm not sure if I should be more worried or maybe just more impressed that you've lived this so long, if that's your cutie mark.
Well, if it worries you, that's something you have in common with my dad.
It's a very reasonable thing to be worried about, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm in trouble.
Alright. Anyway, this has gone on pretty long. Shall we?
Yeah, sorry, I've been having trouble drawing it to a close.
Let's just assume that you two just kind of keep making small talk for a while.
Okie doke. She's showing him her grenades.
And he is kind of backing away very slowly. Anyway, back on Skyfall. Back on Skyfall, where Firelight and Tibbs and Tempered Steel and Javoltar, you hear you hear the PA system crackles, and you hear what sounds like Beryl's voice, actually. And she says, could I need the need security and or the Maulers in the lower decks, please?
I guess, who all's heading there, just to make sure we all know this? I guess Javon will head there.
Tibbs will roll his eyes and go, I'll check it out.
Where is everyone on the ship?
I haven't really specified. You kind of be...
Well,
I think at this point,
I was
everyone
under the assumption that
except
anyone
was
who
wandering about.
hadn't snuck over to the other ship was on the bridge right at the moment.
Yeah, but I left it intentionally open.
I think we were all wandering the corridors except for you, Jawa.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And also, you're still kind of drunk, right?
No, no, that was kind of a last session kind of thing. And I mean, even in character, I think that more than enough time has gone by for that to be past.
I don't know if you've seen many drunk people, but that just doesn't go away that fast.
It's Minotaur metabolism.
Sure, I will accept that.
Well, how many hours was it from when the death of the from when Tibbs and Zenkarn did their thing with that dead body and now?
It's been a few hours since then. There was a period of more repairs and last minute checks before the flight test actually started.
Yeah.
You might be, if you're not drunk, then you're definitely kind of hanging over.
Yep.
He's doing a very good job of hiding it.
Sure.
It's a well-known fact that Minotaur physiology processes alcohol a lot faster than most other species. So their alcohol happens to be like a lot more dense. Their drinks.
Sure.
I have no idea. I'm making.
Yeah, no, that was abundantly clear. Anyway, so are you guys going to respond?
I don't even drink. I don't know.
Well, if no one else is there for Tempered Steel to check and see if they're going, he will hand the conversation back to Chase with a nonverbal apology for leaving him back, for dropping him back into that conversation and head
Chase
down.
just looks grateful for the break and kind of steels himself for more arguing.
And Javont is already wherever Beryl wanted her.
What about Firelight, Tibbs, and Tempered Steel? Are they all making their way over?
Yeah, Tibbs is on his way.
All right. Javalt, you meet up with Aurelia pretty quickly. And Aurelia kind of gives you a look, Javalt, as you arrive and say, did you bump into anything on your way here?
Well, are you asking if I'm having vision problems, or...?
You know what? Just take the question for what it is, Javalt.
No, I did not bump into anything.
Okay.
Was I supposed to notice anything?
I don't know. Anyway, I think she's over here. And
right.
The rest of you managed to arrive on the scene at basically the same time, and you notice Beryl and a few security guards kind of towards an end of one of the hallways. And Beryl seems to be clutching a wound in her side.
Ooh.
Did we get an escaped prisoner?
Again?
Now, the soldiers you sealed in that room with your firelight, those are still there.
I was actually thinking more about the brig, but...
Oh, the brig.
Is anyone guarding the brig?
One of the security guards says, well, yeah, we've been... If anything, we've posted more guards there.
Okay.
Since we managed to retake the ship.
Should I stop making assumptions and let you actually explain things?
Maybe. They say in character.
Self-awareness. I love it.
Tibbs is going to patch up Beryl's wound.
Thanks. It's just weird. 1 second I was just patrolling the ship and checking in with the guards, and then suddenly this.
Oh, that's... Hold on.
Should I roll heal to analyze the wound?
Sure.
Ooh, not 31 d20s. Whoa.
That'd be a lot
Throw
of 20.
all the dice at this check.
Boom.
Load them into a dice cannon. Fire them all at once.
Keep checking until something either succeeds or fails.
Oh,
No, just upgrade her. Upgrade her.
29.
The way.
We can rebuild her. We have the technology.
It's just a cut, damn it.
It's a paper cut. A really vicious paper cut.
all right.
That's a lot of dice. All right, 29.
You'd
Heal
be
check.
surprised the kind of paper cuts I've seen in my time.
It looks like a sword wound.
Did you not see who attacked you?
Not one bit. I don't know if I was even attacked, or if I just cut myself on something, or maybe this is just something that happened during the battle earlier. I did get into kind of a fight with some of the Enclave soldiers, but it just kind of happened.
Javolt is going to...
So there's no indication... So is there any indication that this is a recent wound?
Actually, Tibbs can tell that this was a very recent wound.
The problem is everything's been pretty recent.
That's true.
Yeah, Javolt
was it said that the brig is supposed to be secure right now?
The brig's supposed to be secure. Yeah.
Tempered Steel is going to go and stick his head in there just to be on the safe side.
The brig is some distance away from where you are right now.
Okay, he's going to head in. He's going to.
I'm gonna go do just a quick double check to make sure everything's good with the brig.
Javolt actually goes to stop him and says, "Wait, you know I can actually see magic, right?" He taps his goggles meaningfully. If we do have a magically invisible wanderer, I'd probably be the one to find him. Yes, this is actually part of his destiny talent.
Describe the mechanics of it to me.
You can always see the existence of magical energy, meaning that you automatically succeed on checks to detect magic if you are looking at the magic source. You also gain a plus 10 bonus to checks made to identify the nature of magical effects. And then there are the actual activatable abilities, but that's my passive, basically.
Well, you get a passive bonus to your checks to detect magic.
And that I can see magical energy.
All right.
And you mentioned something about the Enclave soldiers that I had trapped in the closet. Or I think it was a closet.
How many soldiers did you stuff into that closet?
3, right?
And how big is this closet?
Big enough to fit 3 people in. Or big enough to fit 3 ponies in.
With or without power armor?
I think they did have power armor, but I took all their weapons.
I'm not sure why I'm worried, but I am very worried about that situation.
Spud, I have 2 questions.
Go.
The wound that Beryl received, would it have been fatal?
Yeah, it seems like based on how the wound kind of, the direction of the wound and how it kind of shapes, it seemed like that she moved kind of, you'd guess reflexively as it started happening. So
Okay.
if the initial trajectory had gone the way it had intended to, it could have been lethal.
And the second question is, how long have we been arguing with the commander?
Upwards of 20 minutes.
Oh.
Tibbs is going to shake his head and go, I'll bet my last cap that we've got someone with a stealth boy on the ship trying to go after it. Trying to assassinate.
Stealth buck.
Stealth buck.
Yeah.
Trying to assassinate the major players.
I'll hop that bed and add at least 3 more such agents. Excuse me. He heads over to the PA. Could we get a lockdown on the bridge, please? There's been a radiation leak thing.
Tibbs is going...
You hear back on the PA, Roger locking down the bridge.
Right. So now, either that the killer is in the bridge and they'll know and they can't escape, or the killer is still wandering the corridors and we've got no idea where he is. Or she. It could be a she.
Okay, look, between the four of us, there's two of us that can potentially detect magic. It'd probably be easier if we split up. And we need to make sure you get somewhere safe. Turning to Beryl.
So we got an invisible killer running around? Probably Enclave?
Yes.
Good, that's just what I needed today. None of
Well,
our,
everyone is...
none of our guys are going to be much use against him.
Why
Yeah.
do people assume that there's only one?
Well, just we're being hopeful, okay?
Let's... We have evidence of one, let's not try and go too paranoid yet.
Yeah.
Javon actually turns back to the PA. Could I get a report on... No, never mind. I'll come up to the bridge myself and ask.
About a minute after that announcement, as Barrel's getting ready to move and get to
How long would it take Steele to get to the brig?
a few minutes.
Oh gosh. So I guess
I was in the middle of.
sorry.
Well, okay, your thing first.
Javon, after realizing what he was about to say, quickly decides to, he looks around and then he grabs, and then he just grabs Tibbs and says, Firelight, you escort these people to where they need to go. Me and Tibbs are headed to the bridge. Actually, no, hold on. Tibbs, you stay with Firelight. I'll go to the bridge on my own. And he just wanders off to the bridge. He's just constantly trying to subtly check to make sure that there aren't invisible people around him.
You don't see anything around you.
Well, okay. So...
Party got gathered and now they're splitting up again.
Yeah, that's that's great. No, actually, no, this is really good. Tempered Steel, roll perception.
I can't detect magic.
Okay. I got a 10.
You want to use one of your destiny rolls on that, or?
Only one of his destiny rolls is better.
No, I've got 2 destiny rolls.
Because
better.
because he rolled a 3, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the plus. I don't know why my brain didn't process the +7.
Sure, I'll make that 3 a 7, so 14.
You don't notice anything.
This is before getting to the brig?
Yeah, on your way to the brig as you walk down one of the more narrow hallways, with no one around. You suddenly feel something shift in the wind, or something. Some kind of sixth sense activates, and you feel a sharp pain in your side.
Like, which side?
Left.
He's going to throw his body to the left.
Into the direction of the pain?
Of course.
You maybe want to rethink that?
It makes sense.
Does it, though?
It's the Minotaur way.
Trying to. Well, there is something to be said. Okay, he's going to swing his arm in that direction.
You're just gonna try and swing at a thing?
I've got no better plan, so yes.
Do you want to maybe try and move away?
I mean, he's got a hammer. He can theoretically do both.
I had the impression based on the pain that he was already been stabbed, or has that not happened?
I with the whole description of, sort of subtle sixth sense thing, I was kind of giving you the tiniest bit of warning. You're gonna take some damage, certainly.
Well, if he hasn't actually been stabbed, then yes, he's going to step back and turn in the direction that he felt it from with his hammer out. in front of him in the direction of
Well,
where it was coming from.
I guess I want you to roll endurance then.
Okay, well that's a really good thing for me. Let's see, because yeah, I can roll twice for that. And that's like a max stat.
Sorry.
Because you're basically just moving into where it's coming from.
So that is a 23.
So with a 23 endurance, you feel something stab into your left side, but you're able to kind of immediately react by swiping at the direction it came from, and your hammer just kind of crashes into the ground. Whatever had stabbed you quickly pulled out, and you hear some very rapid and almost metallic hoof steps retreating away from you.
How bad a wound is it?
Pretty kind of bad. About 10 HP worth.
Is that before or after damage resistance?
That's after damage resistance. It basically because of the sneak attack, it just ignored your damage resistance.
Okay. He is going to try to follow the noise.
It's a little difficult with a fresh stab wound in your side.
Yell for help.
Well,
We're like,
Stabbed! I've been stabbed! There's someone running away from me, and I've been stabbed!
A couple, one of the security ponies quickly comes by, and
Steele will point in the direction that he heard the hoof steps.
the guard looks reluctant to follow.
you said that the brig wasn't that far away. Would we be able to hear Steele yelling?
The echoes only go so far. Roll perception to see if you can just kind of hear it. Although, no, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter because with the echoing, you wouldn't know like exactly where to go in the winding corridors of the ship.
Well, yeah, but we would know that, like, oh, he was heading towards the brig.
That's true. So roll perception to see if his shouting reaches your ears.
What's my perception? Okay. My perception is okay.
Should I roll perception too, then?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, that's what I meant. Gosh. I hate the
Should
little
I
dice.
have Igor roll perception?
If you think it'll... Oh.
I got a 20. Shit, why'd I waste it now?
You, you know exactly where Tempered Steel is, and you can get to him the fastest.
I start running.
And you reach him relatively quickly.
Hark, a cry for help. I was with, Tibbs at the time, wasn't I?
Who were you with at the time?
Well, we were both with Beryl.
Right.
And Tibbs was with me and Beryl, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, Firelight, you guys notice the sound, and Firelight knows exactly how to get to him quickly.
Hark, a cry for help. I must answer. Anyway, so... Tibbs, or not Tibbs.
Firelight charges ahead full speed with a Band-Aid and a lollipop.
Band-Aid and Molotov ready. It's like, who do I gotta burn? Who do I gotta heal?
Perfect. So yeah, Firelight, you arrive first on the scene, and yeah, Tempered Steel has a fresh stab wound. Congratulations.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't see him, but I heard some kind of metallic hoof prints.
Well, he saw you.
Well, I'm kind of hard to miss.
Alright, I guess I'll try using heal to patch him up real quick.
Yep.
Darn it!
You still got to put up the dice code.
Yeah. Getting that. Little. There we go. 33.
You're actually able to, because you managed to get to him so quickly and the wound is actually quite clean, you're able to patch him up, close the wound, start to get the healing going on it pretty quickly. Tempers and, apply some kind of anesthetic to help Tempered Steel deal with the pain.
Okay, so, while Javolt's wondering about, he's going to be talking to himself, somewhat a loud voice. This is a fine ship I've fixed. Yes, indeed. I mean, I suppose I am the chief engineer after all. Nothing here would run without me. But this is a fine ship.
That's incredibly egotistical of you, but okay.
He's trying to make himself a target.
Unfortunately,
can I roll to bluff?
You want to roll persuasion to make yourself a target.
Yep.
Dear God. Sure, man.
Okie doke.
Who am I to stop you?
Let's see how this
Sounds like
goes.
a brilliant plan to me.
Yeah,
I got a 26.
It's the best.
I got a 26, so.
The thing is
he around to, is the person around to hear it?
I know.
you and you might be doing it a bit too well. You might as well be shouting at the top of your lungs. I am certainly not alone and ripe target for assassination.
Oh my God.
Boy, it sure would be a shame if I got stabbed right now. Look at all this donkey without a knife in him. Oh boy, I do love having all my blood inside my body. Thank you. Thank you, chat.
But this is, after all, Equestria, and apparently that sort of con sometimes works, right?
Oh, the problem is... The thing is, the next thing you hear is the PA coming back on, and you actually hear Diesel's voice shout out, "Ponies, help out dogs now. Upper deck."
And Javolt just sighs and says, "Really? Really? Really?"
And the universe says, "Yeah, really."
How close
Well,
was
screw you too, universe, and he just goes up to the upper deck.
Fine then, Javolt says, "Don't stab me. See if I care."
How close was Tempered Steel to the brig when he got stabbed?
Within like a couple of hallways.
How far are they from the upper deck?
A few floors. It would take some time to get there. There's one major staircase that gets you there pretty fast.
See, I can't help but feel like we're almost certainly going to have something happening with the brig if we don't actually check on it. But can we afford to check on it with what we've been told is happening up top?
That's your decision, man.
Here.
However,
look.
I've only been, I'd also like to point out I've only been forecasting one major threat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the threats you don't forecast that are the ones that we really need to be concerned about.
No, that's the thing. You always worry about the stuff that aren't.
Look. Okay. Look.
That's what you always do, this group.
Look.
Here I say, here are some threats I'm setting up for you. And then you respond with, "But what about these things?" I literally have a guy stabbing you right now. But wait, this other thing.
Look.
Are we sure the ship won't randomly explode?
Every single time.
Are we sure the ship won't randomly explode?
See?
Javolt's not
Okay,
going to
look,
come
look,
to that
look.
realization, but anyone who does should run down to the bomb bay.
Look, Steel, if you're that worried about it, you can still go to the brig, and I'll go and check on the hellhounds.
Tempered Steel is going to will nod, and he will rush to the brig as quickly as he can to make sure that it is all good.
Okay.
So, Tempered Steel, you rush to the brig first, and it is all good.
And
Okay. And he will give them a quick, or they would have heard things, or he will do a quick check-in with them, make sure they're up to speed.
One of the guards there did check on you, just to be sure.
Okay, and then he will rush up to where the other thing's happening.
And Firelight will just turn to Tibbs. So, care to go check on the Hellhounds?
Tibbs will nod and then proceed to the upper deck.
Okay.
So, I guess the 3 doctors meet up.
Oh, God.
Devolt's a doctor?
You call yourself that.
Well, not a medical
You're
doctor.
a PhD doctor, not the MD kind.
All right. We shall break away from you guys for a second to return to Zenkarn.
Whee!
Yes.
All right, let's rewind a bit. You are a pool of blood in a great big sort of generic medical area of the ship.
Cool. So what's around?
Where what seems it's mostly kind of where looks like a bunch of more surgery is supposed to take place, and in fact, you can kind of see beyond a pair of double doors. You can see some ponies working on some kind of operation, and judging from the sounds coming inside, you think maybe Jin was brought over there.
Okay.
Off to the right is a row of medical cabinets, and off to the left is another set of doors to a room you can't quite see into yet.
I'm gonna go check out the room I can't quite see into yet.
You crawl along the floor, and there's no one else in the room right now, so you are able to do so freely. You slip under the door and come into a room where in the center is what seems to be some kind of furnace for cremation, and there are several dead bodies kind of not around, but in containers nearby.
Okay. Alright. This is probably dumb, but let's do this anyway. I unblood form.
So you
making sure I'm not under a table.
You nearly bump your head on a nearby table, but manage to move out of the way. And rise up. A zebra once more.
Does he or does he not have his bone armor?
He does. His equipment melts with him, I just assume. That's just simpler.
Doesn't say it doesn't, so pretty much.
Pretty much.
Cool.
Along with equipment and whatnot.
In that case, I am going to firstly open up all the containers with the corpses in them.
It's actually mostly... Sorry. The word I was thinking of before my brain farted was body bags.
That makes sense. Well, still. I open up all the body bags.
And
what's the condition?
The condition is actually quite varied. Some are... It looks like one or two are very recent. Some have been... Looks like they've been kind of... not quite decaying. Looks like they've been preserved a bit, but they've been dead for probably weeks.
Okay. Cool.
Nothing too old. That's probably what the furnace is for.
That would make sense. I don't remember. Do I have chalk on me?
Chalk. Well, if that's something you need for your rituals, and it's something you usually carry on you, and your equipment came with you, then probably.
Cool. How close are the body bags together? Because I'm gonna have to sort of forks a quick.
Some of them, they're kind of spread out over the room. Some are grouped together on a table nearby. You know, there's one here, another there. There's like about 4 bodies total.
Okay, I'm gonna do my best to just get them all fairly close together, and then make a circle around them. Just a simple loop circle, nothing fancy.
While you're getting the bodies together and preparing to draw the circle, you hear the sound of motion from the other room.
Does it sound like it's coming close?
No, but it does sound like if you make a wrong move, they could hear what you're doing.
How close am I to finishing my circle?
About halfway there with the circle.
Alright, I'm gonna sort of... I'm gonna try and finish that first.
Roll stealth.
Oh, yay. Stealth. 10. Woot.
That is, that's enough.
Really pull. Oh, win!
I mean, you're at the step where you're drawing chalk. It's not hard to make that quite enough so that it goes unnoticed, and there's doors between you and them. So you're able to finish the necromantic circle.
Awesome. Okay. Here's what I want to do. I want to raise them as though they were sort of normal, a sort of fairly low stats, telepathic thing.
Sure.
But I want them to last longer. Can I do that?
Okay, how long do they normally last?
10 minutes, which isn't nearly enough.
Alright, you want to supercharge that utility talent. I'm going to...
I mean, I'm happy to lose stuff as well. Like lose brawn or precision or whatever to keep them alive longer.
Yeah, I'm going to ask for... If you're just doing your... I'm going to require 2 per day charges, 3 per day charges of some of your other utility talents.
Ooh.
So any utility talent where it has a per day charge, I want 3 of them from any mix of them.
Hang on, I have to actually... Okay, I take all of my, so I can pick any of them and just take 3 away?
Yep.
That away is a 3-day talent. Can I take all 3 of them from that?
Yep, that means you won't be able to use that away for the rest of the day.
Actually, I might take 2 from that away and 1 from enchanting, if that's okay.
Sure. And that will give you... That'll make them last for about 40 minutes.
Cool. I do that then.
Okay. So... There you go. Just a second,
No, you're right.
Okay. So, you raise the 4 bodies very slowly, and these artisans of these zombie minions.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm rereading the power again. It's been a while. It has 7 brawn, 3 precision, 0 knowledge, and 1 sense. It cannot speak, but you can communicate with it telepathically. It will obey your every command with no regards to his own existence, and it will turn to dust after now 40 minutes, or when you enter combat, whichever comes first.
When it says when you enter combat, is that roll initiative combat, or is that when they start attacking me?
Kind of both. Generally, the way I'll interpret it that is if they get attacked. I mean, it's roll initiative, but if they get attacked, they're really not gonna last
very long.
Very long, yeah. They will crumble very easily.
That's fine. I only need them for a little bit. So, once they're up and looking somewhat terrifying,
some of them aren't too dead, but they are very pale and dirty and not pleasant to look at. No, none of them. They're not really at the whole shambling, corpse that you usually get out in the wasteland, the decayed, barely there skin and bones. But these ones are still mostly intact.
Okay, I will then Bloodwing. It's almost like flying utility.
Okay, so you summon your blood wings.
And then I will walk over and I have to arrange this properly. Okay, so there are 4 of them?
There are 4 of them.
So I arrange them 2 in front of me, 2 in back. So the back ones are essentially flanking. The first 2 are rear, forward guards. I get one of the ones at the front to open the door, and then I walk out with zombie, me, zombie, zombie, zombie who opened the door.
Okay. The effect is that as you open the door and enter out into the next room, there are a couple of Pegasi medics in there just discussing. And when the door opens and these two zombies come out, and then behind them is this bone-armored, blood-winged, pony-like figure just kind of stalking towards them. They kind of stare, then sputter, and then scream and run.
Can I get to the door before they can?
If you really sprint for it, maybe. But it's not really a doorway you can block. There's no...
Zombies wouldn't be fast enough.
No.
Even with 7 brawn, I can't... Actually, can I? Can the zombies roll?
They can... I mean, having those attributes means they have those in stats as well. So they can roll athletics.
Can I try and send one of the fresher-looking zombies over to get in front of the door?
Sure, you can try that. Make a roll for that. Shamble faster, my minions.
Run undead. 11.
It's
terrible.
Still getting used to having semi-working legs again, and it just charges for the door, not really faster than they run, but it does work to terrify them even more to have this zombie chasing after it before they disappear and start screaming to the other ponies in the med bay about the ponies coming to life from the morgue. And the devil that appeared there.
Well, that's happening. I'm gonna go check on Jin. See if he's in the surgery room.
You open the door to the surgery room, and the doctors there immediately cower. One of them reaches for a pistol that's on a nearby desk, but then Jin gets up from the operating table and just clocks him. He looks wounded and looks like they've already started to do surgery on him, but his magic glows over him, and the wound that was apparently just a fake closes up immediately.
I'll give him a nod. Look at the medics. Be like, back of the room, corner, now. They
obey. One of the doctors says, "Okay, fine, just please don't hurt us, or enchant us with your magic or whatever."
I'll ignore him.
Yeah.
Focus on Jin.
Yeah. Jin, still in his disguise, looks towards you expectantly.
So, I have a plan. I'm not sure if you're going to like it, but I have a plan.
Probably not, but go for it.
I want to take the ship. What do you say?
With 4 zombies.
I look at him, I look at the medics, and I look back at him, be like, what do you mean only 4?
Oh, maybe, well...
There are plenty of people who are going to try to stop our passage. I'm sure I can pick up a few more.
The medics are one thing, the soldiers are going to start shooting.
We can deal with that.
I suppose.
We're hardened wastelanders. They're enclave.
They have armor.
I have faced up.
He doesn't.
He changes form briefly, and a horn appears on his disguise. The wings are still there, so he's temporarily an alicorn for no particular reason. And he levitates the pistol, this regular 10mm pistol. He checks the magazine on it and says, "Really, what we need to do is make our way to the position of most value as quickly as possible. Possibly killing whoever we need to on the way and resurrecting their corpses."
And that would be what? Either the engine room or the bridge?
Either one. Bridge is probably closer from here.
Alright. Unless... I look over at the medics. Hey, which one of you knows which one of you knows the best way to the engine room from here?
They are too terrified to speak at first.
I just give them a very blunt, answer me now sort of look.
The bridge, you go down to the right, the main concourse, and then straight, and then up the ladder there, up the stairs to then the right is the bridge.
Thank you. I look back at Jin. I've got 2 grenades on me. What do you say? One of us goes to the bridge, one of us goes into the engine room and plants a little bit of a persuasion to get them to be more malleable to whatever we want. I'm sure they don't want their ship blown out of the air.
1 grenade to take down a whole ship? I'm not sure if it
Well,
works like that.
2, technically. And hey, they won't know it's just 2 grenades, will they?
You sure you want to do that? To worst comes to worst, threaten a whole ship full of desperate Pegasi?
Doesn't bother me. Why?
I'm just making sure. He nods and holds his hoof out to accept one of the grenades.
I'll pass him both.
Alright, I'm gonna charge out here first in disguise. You're gonna... I don't know if it'll be totally effective, and after that you're gonna have your hooves full of Enclave soldiers. I suggest maybe not attacking them directly, but trying to
Stealth kill?
put on some kind of show.
Oh, that I can do.
Ideally, if you play this right, you should be able to maybe get them to give you some breathing room. Just give you some breathing room out of fear more than... I mean, they're going to shoot. The question is whether they believe shooting is going to be any use against you.
Depends on the type of ammo they're packing.
There's probably going to be some lasers in there. Probably assault rifles as well.
Lasers I can't deal with. The assault rifles, however, I can. We'll have to try and make this work, but I'm sure I can do it.
Well, when in doubt, some smoke and mirrors goes a long way.
Oh, yeah.
Put on a good light show, too. Actually,
No,
forget...
I can manage.
He puts the grenades in his inventory, but says, maybe I should help you out with this. We are not going to be able to take on the whole ship, but between the 2 of us, maybe, and you start to hear the commotion, not from the surgery room, but not from the room beyond, but in the med bay. There's a much larger commotion happening. He says, if we're going to make an entrance and not get dead, we should probably pool our resources.
If you think that's best, so what do you want to head? Bridge?
Yeah, the bridge. We need to get to the captain and scare him into backing down.
Can do. What form are you taking?
Let me think. Let's see. We need them to basically believe that shooting you is not going to help and that they've unleashed some kind of curse. So, I know exactly what form I'm going to take.
Okay.
And, are we going to run out of time on this?
No, it should be fine.
It's just that there's stuff in play, and we got about 45 minutes left in the session. We're probably not going to finish.
If we have to go a little bit longer, we can. I don't need to get out until 4:30, but yeah, we'll play it by ear.
Yeah, we may have to. This may end on some kind of cliffhanger, but I'm not sure yet. Okay, let's check in with Flotsam very briefly.
Hello.
The only sense that you get that anything is going on in the ship is that there's some commotion. You can hear some shouting happening from the bridge, which is only a door and a short hall away from your room. And the guards seem to be having some energetic conversations outside as well.
Is something happening?
Jasper just kind of looks very confused. I'm not terribly sure.
Can we ask?
Yeah, sure, I will. Yeah, you... He knocks on the door and kind of turns the crank, pulls it out, and says, "What's all the business about?" And one of the guards says, "Apparently we have an intruder or something bad's going on near the med bay. Apparently there's some the words going around that some of the bodies there came back to life."
Can Flotsam hear this?
Yes.
Flotsam rushes over. Oh no. Okay, oh boy. You're gonna want to, oh boy. I don't want to, tell you what to do or anything, but you should probably get your soldiers to give them a really wide berth, or else it's not gonna go really well.
Jasper considers this for a second and says, Do we know if they've killed anyone yet, or is it just the dead? Oh, I don't know. Flotsam, do you know what's going on?
I think I know who this might be, and you can tell she's kind of thinking, like trying to decide what exactly to say.
Come on, okay. Would you be willing to go with me and maybe see if we can defuse this situation?
Maybe. Hang on, Flotsam going to try mental linking to Zenkarn. Zenkarn, what are you doing?
I'm stealing myself an airship. What are you doing?
Zenkarn, try not to kill anyone.
Why? What's going on? This isn't about the whole soul-saving thing again, is it?
No. Look, what's your plan? Maybe I can help you without getting anyone killed.
Get to the bridge, create some more zombies, scare the captain into handing over captaincy, basically. And or at least enough supplies, whatever supplies we were going to need. Either one. Another airship would be good, though.
Zenkarn. You're so difficult. I'll do what I can, but you're not getting the ship.
What? Aw. You got a Minotaur. I want an airship.
Wait.
Well,
Wait,
she
are
did
you
ask-
are you calling back to session 0 there?
That's pretty
Maybe. Yes.
Well, this is... She's got a Minotaur? Well, this is news to me.
What? Zenkarn said I could keep him.
That is some epic level calling back there.
Flotsam kind of blinks and says, Okay. He's not as interested in keeping ponies alive as I am. And he has powers that I don't think you all have encountered before. Yeah, maybe it would be best if we go and try to defuse the situation, but, please try and keep them out of his way.
Alright, Okay. Jasper steps out of the room and beckons Flotsam to follow. And he says, Take me down to the medbay. I'm assuming control the situation.
He's, probably gonna head to the bridge.
Well, first, we're going to establish communication if you are familiar with this pony.
Okay.
Not even there, and Zenkan just shudders.
Razorwing steps out of the bridge for a second, kind of storms out, and glares at Jasper, and says, "Excuse me, where do you think you're going? We have an intruder in our ship, and you're going to, go talk peacefully with him?" And Jasper says, "If he hasn't killed anyone, yes."
You don't want to fight with him. You really don't. She also mental links to Zenkarn. Zenkarn, I promise you, it will be worse for you and worse for everyone if you kill anyone. You haven't killed anyone, have you?
No, I scared the crap out of a couple of medics. Where are you? What do you... Wait, hang on. Yeah, where are you? What do you mean you're coming down... You're coming to... What's going... Where are you? Right now.
Look, you'll see me soon, okay? I'm near the bridge.
Why?
I'll explain it later, Zenkarn. Look, what's important right now is that you don't kill anyone. You can scare them fine, but please try not to kill anyone unless you absolutely have to.
Fine. I promise not to kill anyone who isn't trying to kill me first.
That'll do. She kind of takes a breath and says, Look, I'm pretty sure he'll only kill in self-defense, but if he has to, he will, and it will not be good.
Jasper nods and says, "All right, tell the ponies down there to set up a defensive line, but do not start shooting. Just set up there in the med bay and hold the line." The invisible guy was not Zenkarn. That's not. All right, and then they head down. Meanwhile, back on the other ship. See, this is why this session was going to be a nightmare to plan. The Maulers and Aurelia arrive at the upper decks, where Diesel is kind of hunched very protectively with his hammer in one hand over...
Are you implying that Aurelia isn't a mauler?
I'm referring to the Maulers sort of as the players, but I didn't want to say players. Diesel is hunched over Bella protectively, and Teddy as well.
Right. Who got cut, and which way did the perpetrator run?
Bella is the one who's wounded now. Actually, pretty severely.
Ooh. Well, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just going to chase after our ghost friend.
Heal check time.
This will probably take both of you.
I rolled a 31.
Oh, and Codman's BRB. So, 31. You're able to stabilize Bella, who's taken two sword wounds, a slash and a stab, in pretty critical locations. But you're able to stabilize her, but she'll need some more serious medical attention soon, and she's probably not going to be fighting for a while.
Okay. I have a weird question. Is there a PA system nearby?
Yeah,
and
there's one within arm's reach of Diesel.
Okay. And is the microphone for it is it movable, adjustable?
No, it's just this sort of port on the wall.
Okay. I was gonna do something weird with that, but okay.
You see also that Teddy seems to be gnawing on something.
Tibbs is going to take a look at it if he can.
You can't really see it for some reason.
Did Javon notice this before he ran off?
Yeah, I didn't acknowledge you running off because I wanted to say that first.
Okay, so what is this?
He just seems to be gnawing on something kind of invisible.
Does this affect my, is this something magical?
It seems to have a slight magical aura to it, although it's kind of cubish, so...
Javon sort of clears his throat and says, "That's an interesting prize you have there, Teddy. Do you mind if I have a look at it?"
He just keeps on, his claws keep, scratching it, and he keeps gnawing on it angrily, almost as if he's trying to take revenge on it.
Teddy, if I can have a look at it, I can probably find the person who, hurt Bella.
Teddy stops when he hears this and whimpers and hands it up to you. This invisible cube.
Alright.
That flickers, and you can see that it's a stealth buck device, and it's got quite a few kind of bite and claw marks, and there's circuitry sticking out of it now. Part of it's armored, like it was supposed to slot into something.
Oh. Javon actually turns to Firelight and says, "Our invisible friend appears to have a set of armor."
Tibbs is going to give sort of a deadpan look and go, "You don't say. The invisible pony stabbing everyone might be wearing Enclave armor."
Well, to be fair, I'm not all that used to armor tech. Or maybe I am. Whatever. The point is, I didn't realize it until now.
Javolt doesn't know what about Javolt is canon.
Alright,
Aurelia kind of looks at that and says, "So our assassins are now running around visible, right? Unless they have a spare?"
Is it a Mark 1? I guess Tibbs wouldn't know that.
No, you wouldn't know.
If it's a Mark 1 or
I guess
Mark 2.
Javolt's can Javolt roll mechanics to figure out stuff about this thing?
Sure. You can spend a minute or two.
Mechanics or Arcana, which would be better?
Mechanics in this case. It's really not as magical as it is technology.
Right. And, okay, I do have a couple rerolls. Because 12 is not really fun. So I'm just going to reroll that.
Okay, then.
Hey, there's Incarn. Okay, that's 28.
Okay, you become aware that this is apparent. Unlike stealth bucks that are usually like self-use units, kind of standalone, this This is something that is supposed to be a module for power armor.
Yeah, I figured that out immediately.
Okay. Other than that, I mean, it looks like, I don't know what else you want to know about it.
I mean, can I track the power armor it was attached to, or?
No, there's no, it doesn't,
Or would I know if the power...
There's no transponder or anything like that.
Would I know if the power armor is still invisible?
Without this,
Actually,
without this, the answer to that is no.
So it's visible.
It's visible now.
Well, of course, assuming he's not carrying a spare.
If he had a spare, he'd have to. Travolt knows that he'd have to reconnect all the wires that are supposed to be sort of internal to the armor. It would take time to repair, time and facilities and tools that your infiltrator's probably not going to have.
Javolt actually considers the device and says, "Firelight, how would you like to be an invisible storm of fire?"
It sounds very dangerous. I admit I'm intrigued. What are you talking about?
I think I can adjust this to work without armor.
Aurelia says, maybe we have more important things to do than play around with invisibility tech.
Yeah.
Having
us both invisible doesn't really make it easier to find someone who's invisible.
Well, no, I don't think he's invisible anymore. Is that?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Did Javolt determine that the armor was visible now?
The owner of this stealth book will not be able to be invisible anymore.
Okay. So Javolt just gives Firelight a look and says, "He's now fully visible."
Ah.
He's also apparently very fast, so we need to sneak up on him. Which is what I'm suggesting I adjust this to make you invisible, or possibly Aurelia invisible.
Aurelia shakes her head and says, "No, if this person's visible, then it's only a matter of time. We just gotta..."
Well, you're the only one here who can work gun without the gun curse.
Well, Swift, too.
Well, yes, but...
Ah, frack.
Don't worry. Look, Javolt, we can worry about the invisibility stuff later.
We just need to corner him or her or something.
This is an airship. There are very few corners.
Yeah, but if we...
A wall of fire and stuff is very easily... It is good enough to deter someone in stopping...
Someone wearing power armor?
Yeah, they can just walk...
It's at least enough to slow them down. Look...
We just all need to work together on this, okay?
Yeah.
That's why I'm offering to...
That will take too much time.
Look, let's just go now.
We're waiting for them to strike again. Or something, I don't know. Just when they make a move, we all jump them.
Look. Should we split up, maybe? Cover more ground?
Okay, Javolt just rolls his eyes, heads over to the, what was it? Well, I completely forgot. Broadcasting sounds.
The PA system.
PA! Yeah, PA system, and says, "All right, we know you're here, and you've lost your ability to hide. You can..." I've completely lost Javolt's voice. Yeah, Javolt just says, "All right, we know you're here. You're no longer invisible. To everyone else, if you see a Pegasus in power armor, could you just let us know? Or possibly, do try to take him alive. It's been a while since I've been able to really experiment." And he just turns off the PA.
Okay. Scaring the shit out of him when we want to take him alive. Great idea. Alright.
Speaking of using fear to enact great ideas... Zenkarn.
But when I do it, it's cool. Right, yep.
So Jin transforms... Basically, his grand plan is to transform into a very large, decayed-looking dragon skeleton thing. That's all glowy and misty and stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It takes him a while to get it going, too, but yeah.
Totally worth it. Yeah, if he does that, in which case, I'll set my zombies back up, 2 in front, 2 in back, and head out.
And, your Jin in his, mini Draco Lich form crawls forward ahead of you.
Oh, that's so cool.
Just filling the room with this eerie mist and smoke and, just generally being this terrifying apparition as you walk out with your zombies in tow. And this line of fully armed Enclave soldiers stands before you.
Fair.
They don't shoot, but they definitely have all their guns trained. Half of them are kind of on the dragon thing, half of them are on you.
I'll walk up beside Jen. What's the ratio for guns? How much of it is bullets? How much of it is laser or plasma?
Pretty much half ballistic, half energy.
Shit. Which ones are pointing at me?
Again, about half and half.
Crap.
So quarter,
that
quarter,
counts as
quarter, and
magical
quarter.
Attack. Wine. Alright. I'm just gonna give them a look. Is there enough room to hover?
How would you hover? But yes, there's just enough room to kind of...
I have blood wings.
Oh, you can kind of flap a bit.
Sweet. So yeah, I'm gonna hover just a touch. And sort of just glare and be like, move aside now if you wish to keep breathing.
They, a few of them are kind of intimidated, but they hold their ground. And then this, much older stallion, not in armor, but in sort of military dress, pushes through to the front of the line. And next to him is Flotsam.
I give her a quick look before focusing my attention on the, older stallion. So, who are you? Why should I give a shit?
Zenkarn, this is Jasper. Jasper, this is Zenkarn.
Jasper just kind of looks a bit more than a little scared at the display before him, but visibly steels himself and says, "So, why have you come to our ship? Who are you? What are you?"
What do I look like? You tell me.
I wasn't lying when I said we were desperate.
You look like a necromancer of significant power.
I give a small bow.
You wasn't aware that there were many zebras still here in Equestria.
Oh, there are some of us born and raised. But as to why I'm here, I want your ship. Or supplies, but mostly your ship.
I think it's only fair to warn you that if you try and take our ship by force, we will fight you to the last Pegasus. And the soldiers aim their guns a bit more truly.
Reasonable. I land. I look over at Flotsam. Why are you here, exactly?
I did tell you I'd see you over here.
That is
You guys-
true.
Oh, you can't hear me? Good, okay.
No, you're within speaking distance.
Oh, no, I spoke earlier and no one responded, so I wasn't entirely sure if I was muted or not.
Oh. Okay.
That's fine. Yes. What was Zenkarn saying?
How did you get here? Did one of them take you?
I went willingly.
Good to know.
I needed a way to get all the Enclave off the ship, so I threatened to kill myself if they didn't.
Well, they made a very good move then, didn't they?
Jasper kind of senses the veiled menace in your voice there.
Depends who you ask.
Mostly
Look.
me. But you sounded like you had some form of a plan when we last spoke.
Yeah, I'm good at sounding like that.
Jasper says, "What will satisfy you, if not the entire ship, obviously?"
Food, medicines, weapons, ammo. We've got a war going on that we need to fight.
Zenkarn, what about the New Dawn?
So you
They haven't given up.
You also represent the New Dawn, then?
He doesn't
Sure.
represent them exactly. He's on our side.
Well, I'm on her side.
Hmm.
Jasper kind of glances down at Flotsam and says, "This is your friend, huh?"
He's my best friend.
He nods at this.
This is just great, isn't it?
Like I said, we're not all good ponies.
No, of course not.
I mean, for one thing, he's a zebra.
So,
Sure.
here's my question.
Hmm.
He looks around at the soldiers, then back at you and says, "Have you hurt any of the ponies here? I recognize one of those soldiers that was in the morgue. I assume the rest were too. Have you killed any pony else?"
No. And I won't if I don't have to.
I've no doubt you'd probably take a few with you. I don't think you'd be able to take on all of us, but I have no intention of risking more of our lives today.
Good choice.
More than are
So
necessary.
how do you want to do this? Because I think you know what I want. Safety of our ship, and supplies, and or your ship. What's on your list of demands?
Well, I think at this point we'd be satisfied with you off of ours. And maybe just a peaceful end to today's events. Maybe just making sure all of us live to see the sunset.
Seems reasonable. What kind of guarantee that I have that you won't just come back with more ships and more ponies?
Flotsam makes an expression that says he's got a point.
Because this was a last-ditch effort for all of us. After this, the Enclave will be forced to devote its resources more fully towards reconstruction rehabilitation efforts. We don't have enough fuel or guns or ammo to make another push like this again, especially now that you'll be waiting for it.
Does Commander Razorwing agree with all this?
I think
Because he's going to have to be the one we're going to have to convince.
I think you and Razorwing should talk, if only so that you can show him how serious you are, and how he looks up at the Draco Lich, the Jin's form he's taking, and he says, if only to show how far you're willing to go, and what resources you have available."
I mental link with Flotsam. I ask, how much do you know about them at the moment?
I'm so sorry, I was coughing. Could you repeat that, please?
That's all good. How much do you know about them at the moment? Their motives, what they want?
She mental links back. Jasper seems to be tired of fighting. He's more reasonable. But from what I know about Razorwing, he's devoted to the cause. He's going to take a lot of persuading.
How desperate are they for, say, homes? Somewhere to call their own?
Very.
Alright. This is probably going to be super stupid, but we'll see.
Rancard.
I look back at Jasper, and I ask, you say you're looking for somewhere to live. Somewhere, I'm assuming, slightly more peaceful.
Somewhere we can
than
put
most places.
we can put the entire our whole people, all of the Pegasi that were living up in the clouds that now can no longer live there, no longer grow food there, no longer be safe there. Yes, we need a place, and we need.
I have a suggestion, but I don't know if you're going to like it. As I said, there's a war going on. Basically, not quite for territory, but for the reasons the mechanics are complicated. Look, there's a war going on. You help us crush this threat. My group kills the last of the dragons, and the Pegasus come down and settle in them all. At least some of them.
No,
win-win for everybody.
That's not acceptable. I don't think I can convince any pony here to get involved in a surface ground war.
Then what? You're gonna just go to some other place in Equestria, hope the crap they accept you? You do it this way, you'll have ponies who have some actual respect for you. You do it your way, good luck. But, hey, if you don't want to, your choice.
We have plenty of other ponies that need us elsewhere. And we certainly can't bring them all here, especially if this land is already settled.
Up to you. Just a suggestion.
Noted.
Anyway, should go speak to this commander of yours.
If you're willing to.
Always happy to talk to someone important.
Well, I outrank him, but he also commands the ship, so...
Either way. Shall we?
We shall. And, Jin, in his Dracolich form, looks down at you kind of questioningly.
Look up.
He lets out a growl.
I give him a slight pat on the shoulder and be like, you can eat them later, and I did have to make the offer. We'll go see what the commander says, and if, they're not reasonable, I'm sure you can have your fun.
He nods and sort of gives the soldiers a toothy draconic grin, and they all sort of shudder and take a step back or two. And they give you a wide berth as Jasper leads you and Flotsam along. Do you bring the zombies with you too?
Yeah, may as well. They're there.
All right. Going briefly back to Skyfall again. As you're kind of strategizing on how to deal with the assassin now that they're no longer stealthed, the PA system comes back on, and you hear Swift's voice, and he says, I got her. She's in here on the observation deck. Come on in. Ah! And then there's an electrical crackling.
If depending wherever Tempered Steel was, he will immediately change direction and head in that direction.
Javon turns to Firelight and says, how many doors lead to the observation deck?
I don't know, and starts heading for the observation deck.
I think there's like 2.
Javon says, you go take this door, I'll go take that door.
All right. Fair enough. And yeah, and starts heading for the observation deck.
All right. Do you all start running over there?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As you get closer and closer, you hear the clanging of metal on metal and the sounds of sniper rounds being fired. The group enters from both doors to see Swift get his sniper rifle knocked out of his claw hands by 2 swords that are being wielded at the ends of 2 metallic prehensile artificial wings.
Tempered Steel will
hammer. The other pony in the room is in this very sleek enclave armor. Again, the wings are these metallic artificial things that can have spread out into these prehensile hand-like things.
Javolt is in love.
Each of them holding a very, very sharp blade.
Just to be clear here, Javolt is not in love with the pony.
Too late shipping it.
Just the time. This pony grunts and jumps back into a more defensive position, and it sounds like a mare, making mare's voice coming out of the suit. The eyes of the helmet glowing green.
Okay.
And she just growls at you, sees that her exits are kind of blocked off, and she no longer has her stealth. Aurelia...
Javolt sort of holds up the stealth book and coughs and says, you drop this.
Do you want to give up peacefully, or do we have to do this hard way? I mean, honestly, I'd prefer not to do it the hard way. But...
Aurelia just growls and says, screw that, and she charges in and fires a few shots with her plasma caster. But the assassin nimbly dodges out of the way, and almost in the blink of an eye, stabs one of her swords cleanly through the plasma caster.
Oh, we like that gun.
What happens when plasma casters are damaged? Do they explode?
It kind of sparks with plasma energy, but it doesn't explode.
Okay, Javolt is going to actually use this distraction to launch his Extendo Claw. And That's a thing that he has.
Okay. What is there a roll involved with that?
Javolt's claw is capable of extending on a flexible cable and being mentally directed at a maximum speed of 5 feet per second. This detached body part, There's no roll. It's just...
Well, I guess if at 5 feet per second, that's fairly fast. I guess, are you trying to, like, hit her or grab her or something?
I'm going to try to grab onto the base of her wing.
Alright. Let me just...
Do you want me to roll agility or something like that?
I'll make the roll.
I've got acrobatics.
Well, so does she.
Okay.
And she just barely dodges, pulling her sword out of the gun in the process. It just falls to the ground.
Actually, I'm going to use my 2 destiny roll.
God damn it. It's not too fast. Yeah, but still. Alright, if she rolls a 2 on her athletics, her sword catches. And despite the claw not moving all that fast, you manage to kind of grab onto one of her artificial wings, which is holding her other sword.
What's the likelihood that I can use the extendo claw to remove the wing?
0.
Well, while she's distracted by that,
she's gonna try to tug away.
While she's doing that, Tempered Steel is gonna leap in and tackle her from above.
All right.
Wait, can I do something real quick?
What?
Can I use kindness?
Oh gosh.
God.
Make one hostile creature temporarily non-hostile.
Damn. Target hostile creature is not hostile for the next 5 minutes or until something happens that would cause it to become hostile again.
Oh, this is an awkward situation.
Okay, so several things happens at once. First, as you try to pull and Tempered Steel tries to charge, she's going to try and attempt to pull away. And she manages to tug herself free and get some distance before Tempered Steel's tackle can connect with her.
All right.
And then, Firelight, what do you do exactly to justify or trigger kindness?
Well, I guess I'll just, first off, step forward and stuff between, Aurelia and the soldier. And just put a hoof up and everything to try and calm everybody down. All right. Everyone, please just calm down for a minute. Look, there's no reason to be fighting right now. Both of our leaders are currently talking at the moment, very peacefully, mind you, and we're trying to just get this over as smoothly as possible for everybody. So please, just put down the swords for a moment, alright?
The Armored Mare keeps her swords up and kind of pointed threateningly at a spread of the group and trying to keep her distance, but does not attack.
Alright, I'll turn around and motion to everybody else like, okay, calm down, Aurelia, the gun.
My gun! No! That was my plasma caster!
Well, I guess it's not much use right now at the moment.
That was my... I've had that thing since, I met you guys.
I know, I'm sorry. We'll get it fixed I promise we'll get it fixed later, alright?
Okay, slashing up our friends, fine, but that was my gun!
I promise we'll get it fixed.
Javolt just sort of clears his throat and says, let me have a look at it. It might be superficial.
Don't worry. We'll get it fixed.
Aurelia glares at the assassin list like, you little... She snorts out some smoke from her nostrils.
And Javolt just gives her a look and says, gun here now, Aurelia.
She kicks the heavy gun towards Javolt a little bit, but keeps her eyes glaring
And now
on...
you take over the other door.
No. Ugh. We're really gonna do nothing about this frickin'...
We're gonna do something.
Tempered Steel, would you mind taking over this door? I need to concentrate on fixing. She's actually had this since she hatched. Well, very close to.
But
Well, a little bit after.
talk about this later.
Those are some
Yeah,
very
but-
nice wings you have there. I don't like what you've done with them, but the improvements are quite astounding. Did you do that yourself?
Aurelia shouts out, "No! No, we are not playing nice with this one!" And she rears back and breathes out a gout of fire.
Oh, come on. I wasted a magic point on this.
Yeah, she's actually very, very young. She hasn't even had her first birthday yet.
Is she purposely trying to attack with the fire, or just...
The fire gets close, and the assassin dodges out of the way. And, alas, the spell of kindness is broken.
Oh, come on.
Really, Aurelia? Really?
Yes, really!
Really?
Really!
Really?
Really!
Really?
Really!
Well, alright, but it's coming out of your hoard.
Fine!
Mm,
And the assassin just glares, twirls her swords in her wing appendages, and says, "For the Enclave. For Commander Razorwing."
Wait, who?
Cut to...
Well, I was.
uh,
Was there? Never mind.
Zenkarn, you are, you and Flotsam and are led by Jasper up towards the main deck and towards the bridge, where the conference call with Chase has been suspended, and just about every pony in the room has a gun equipped now and is pointing at the doorway as you enter.
Flotsam waves.
I glower at everyone. Everyone.
Even Flotsam.
Especially Flotsam.
Stopped me from killing people.
Jasper kind of raises a hoof to try and kind of an assuaging gesture, and says, they just want to talk, so I figure we should give them the opportunity. And Razorwing just, on his saddle is a scatter laser, and he just shakes his head and kind of thinks about tucking on the bit that will trigger the gun, and he says, "Are you serious, Council Pony? Some zebra waltzes onto our ship, threatens our staff, and you just invite him up for tea?
You kind of attacked us first.
What happened to the Enclave? What happened to the future of our people? What happened to the fact that ponies are going to die if we don't take back the SPP? What happened to our mission, Council Pony
Ponies
Jasper?"
are gonna die if you take back the SPC.
And if
Ponies
I have my
are
way,
gonna
then I'll
die no
stay-
matter what you do.
Listen
Sorry,
to the
what's
filly.
that?
She's smart.
So, fine, both paths are bloody. Maybe I'm okay with that. Maybe, maybe, he just shakes his head at Jasper and says, "Maybe we haven't all gone soft, like you have."
What gun
Maybe
does he
those of
have?
us who are sick
It's
of killing
it's a laser rifle with a scatter attachment.
Damn it.
Flotsam flutters up into the air and starts slowly approaching. Maybe some of us are just sick of having to kill everyone to get what we want. Maybe some of us are ready to just compromise.
Settle down, Philly, and he points his gun at you.
What are you gonna do?
Jasper
Shoot yourself.
shouts out, "No, every pony to stand down!" And Razorwing points the gun at him instead.
What the hell are you doing? He outranks you.
There's a moment of tension, this tense look between Jasper and Razorwing, and then Razorwing says, "Council Pony, you're under arrest on account of treason, consorting with the enemy.
I know this is probably...
You've
No, go. I'll ask you after.
You have sacrificed everything the Enclave stands for, and you're throwing away any chance of our future. And Jasper shakes his head and says, "Are you serious, mutiny? You think the ponies here will stand for this kind of insubordination?" And Razorwing growls and says, "I don't know. Let's find out."
Dumb question. How many... We're all in the same...
I'm sorry, I'm hearing a lot of background
Type
noise.
very loudly.
I've got a few guesses.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Pace-wise, how far away is Razorwing to me? Because I have a plan. It's probably a bad plan, but I've got one.
Pace-wise, you mean? I really don't know how to think of distances in terms of paces. He's in the center of the bridge. You're kind of at the doorway.
Well, it's the rough distance. Short, medium, long.
Medium to long.
Shit. I don't think I'm fast enough. That's annoying.
How many other ponies are on the bridge?
Manning the various controls, there's another 6, and as far as guards outside the room, there's another 2.
Flotsam is going to flap so that she's fly so that she's in between Jasper and Razorwing, so that she's effectively shielding the former from the latter.
And which means that you're directly in the path of Razorwing's scatter laser. And the other ponies of the room, still armed, start kind of glancing nervously among themselves to figure out what side they're on and what side the other ponies in the room are on.
I know
And on
that you're dedicated. Sorry, go ahead.
Make your speech, but then...
Okay. I know that you are dedicated to protecting your home and your people. I can even respect that. But you are not so naive as to think that going after the... Oh, shoot. What's it called again? The Pony Project?
The Single Pony Project, the SPP.
Thank you. That going after the Single Pony Project and trying to take it back by force is going to work. It's not. I mean, maybe if you negotiate, maybe you can come to some kind of arrangement. But if you go in guns blazing, especially that gun, and she points in the direction of where the New Dawn is, they will take out as many of you as they possibly can, and they will not let you have it.
I believe in the Enclave's strength, and I'm ready to die for this cause.
So was everyone else who already got taken out when the Single Pony Project was taken. They all believed that, and look what happened. We don't want to...
They were taken by surprise, and we'll do the same. Now shut up, and either get out of my way or die.
Let me put this bluntly, chicken. You shoot her, I will kill every person in this room and turn them on you. So play nice.
Razorwing, this is insane, says Jasper. And Razorwing just growls and says, I'm done talking. Figure out which side you stand. Now. And he pulls the trigger. And cliffhanger!
Oh my god!
Dun dun dun!
So next session, 2 combats at once. Oh boy.
Oh.
I can't go to work like this, Spud, you asshole!
What's that?
I don't think that would be how Flotsam died.
What's that?
Well,
I pissed everyone off? Great. I love it.
Bud,
Yeah?
you know I'm not gonna be
yeah.
around, like...
Yeah, sorry.
Just get Smutty to play Firelight. Problem solved.
I know, you've got winter break. I don't know. I don't want to... I thought I might be able to wrap this up within session time, but that's just not how it turned out. And I don't know if I want to delay another 3 weeks.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. Sorry.
It's okay.
I mean, Firelight was gonna have to, or at least Coden was gonna have to miss some of Fid anyway.
Yeah.
It just happened that it just happened to fall on in the middle of the invasion.
I will make sure you are represented At the very least, if you're not here for the next session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So, did we ever actually get actual confirmation that the gun curse was not active in the enemy ship? Did anyone ever actually fire a gun?
Spud said it earlier today.
Yep.
So out of character,
yes. The
yes.
ship fired weapons, and I've basically done everything I can to confirm it without actually outright saying it or firing a gun.
Except at the very end, and we don't know how that turned out, goddammit.
Is it possible that it drifted into?
Good. Why would I do that?
Think about it. He kills Flotsam, and let's say Flotsam gets killed and or severely injured. What's going to happen?
Bloodbath. Literally.
Bloodbath for everybody, and it's going to be beautiful.
Zenkarn is going to drown at least one person in blood.
I can't. I used that ability today.
Oh.
So I'll have to just get blood from somewhere else. But that's fine. That's like...
Okay.
Jin, give me some of your blood. I need it for reasons.
Oh, well, that's... I honestly did not expect to be... When I started the session tonight, I did not expect that that's how things were going to shake out, but here we are.
You okay, Spud?
I'm a little not okay, but I'm interested to see how this turns out. And yeah, it'll be interesting next week to, oh boy, see the resolution.
Oh, well, yeah, no, they're right. We won't have combat. Tibbs is here.
It'll all magically work out.
No, you guys will have combat.
It's at this point that I go, Tibbs also has kindness.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, maybe you should use that next time.
Tibbs has kindness? How does that work?
You would be surprised.
Drugs.
Yes, I would.
Tibbs, are you being kind?
My grand plan to have all this combat foiled.
Tibbs, are you being kind? Because that would be a really nice change of pace for once.
Hold on, I have an image for this.
Okay, let's actually do the wrap up.
Eli, is that you? I mean, what?
Let's do the wrap up, guys. I need to stop the recording at some point. The podcast needs to end sometime.
I have questions, but they can be answered later.
I'm sure everyone's got questions.
This
Oh, go ahead, Joa.
This has been Fallout is Dragons.
Tune in next week when I'm not here. And a lot of fighting is probably going to happen, but it might not.